Exciting news. I found a rare clip of Charlie Munger sharing his insights on achieving 50% annual returns with small investments. The video quality reminds you of an iPhone 4 era, but Munger's expertise shines through brilliantly. It's a must-watch for anyone aiming to build substantial wealth. Munger challenges the old adage that you need a lot of money to make money, suggesting that starting with a modest sum can still yield high returns. Let's dive into the video to uncover these valuable strategies. To make more money from less, there are three main things you should know if you want to follow Munger's advice. Firstly, look where others aren't looking. Munger works closely with Berkshire Hathaway, which is a really big company, almost $800 billion big. It's among the top 10 largest companies globally, but being huge isn't always an advantage in investing, according to Munger and his partner Warren Buffett. They say that having too much money actually makes it hard to find good investment chances because they can only focus on really big ones. And those big opportunities are rarely mispriced. They're usually well understood and not very inefficient in investment terms. So, while big investors like them are busy with the giants, smaller chances for good returns might slip under their radar. That's where you come in. Munger and Buffett talk about this idea, how smaller investments might actually offer more chances to find mispriced stuff or inefficiencies. It's like everyone's so busy looking at the tall trees that they miss the ripe fruits on the smaller ones. Imagine a big crowd focused on huge, flashy things. They might miss the hidden gems tucked away in the corners. Munger and Buffett believe that's where the real opportunities lie. They say, listen to what Charlie Munger is saying, because paying attention to these smaller chances might be your ticket to better returns. Decades ago, when Warren and Charlie were investing small amounts of money, they had to work super hard. They spent so much time looking at loads of papers about money stuff just to find one good idea for investing. Back then, they didn't have the cool internet tools we have now. But now, thanks to the internet, it's much easier to find stocks that might be cheaper than they should be. You don't need any fancy stuff. You can use a free tool called a stock screener. It's like a filter for stocks. You just set it up to show you certain types of stocks. For example, you can set it to look for companies that are not too big and not too small. Just right in the middle. Most big investors, like the place where I work in New York City, have rules. They won't invest in companies that are too tiny. At my job, we can't buy stocks from companies worth less than $5 billion. That's pretty huge compared to these smaller ones we're talking about. And guess what? Smaller companies often don't get much attention from the big Wall Street people. They're too busy looking at the big companies like Apple. Apple has lots of people watching it, 31 Wall Street people. But these smaller companies, not so much. Because nobody's watching them closely, there's a bigger chance you might find a good deal. Learning from investing experts like Munger has truly changed my life, and I believe it can do the same for you. Munger's next lesson is all about seizing big opportunities when they arise. He says that these incredible chances don't come often, so when they do, you've got to grab them with both hands. To explain this idea, let's take a detour into baseball. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, baseball is a game played with bats and balls by two teams. One team pitches the ball, and the other team tries to hit it with a bat. The aim is to score runs or points by hitting the ball strategically. Munger draws parallels between baseball and making money in the stock market. He talks about Ted Williams, one of the greatest baseball players ever, who wrote a book called The Science of Hitting. In this book, Williams detailed his approach at the plate. He divided the strike zone into 77 squares and found his sweet spot, where he had the best chance of hitting the ball. By waiting for the perfect pitch in his sweet spot, Williams increased his success rate to 40%. But if he became impatient and swung at the wrong pitches, his success dropped to only 23 to 25%. Williams knew that waiting for the right moment was crucial. Average players turned into stars by being patient, while even the best players became average if they swung at the wrong pitches. Munger takes this analogy to the investment world. He suggests that waiting for the right investment opportunity just like waiting for the perfect pitch, greatly enhances your chances of success. Charlie Munger, the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, has some valuable advice on making good returns with small amounts of money. Imagine you're a baseball player, and each investment opportunity is like a pitch in a game. Munger suggests that as an investor, you should be patient. Just like waiting for the perfect pitch in baseball, you need to wait for the right investment opportunity. It might take a while, but when you see a great chance, that's when you should take a swing and make your move. Now, Munger also talks about the size of investments. Many people think having a lot of money for investing is an advantage, but Munger disagrees. He explains that having too much money can be a problem because it limits the types of investments you can make. If you have a huge amount to invest, you're forced to focus on really big opportunities. The thing is, these big chances are often well known and not mispriced, making it harder to get good returns. This is where the opportunity for small investors comes in. Munger suggests looking at smaller investments because they're often overlooked by big investors who are too busy with larger opportunities. The smaller size of these investments increases the chances of finding something mispriced, giving you a better shot at making money. Munger's third lesson is about how to manage your investments. Most people are told to spread their money across many different stocks to be safe. However, Munger thinks differently. He believes in concentrating your investments on a few outstanding businesses that you really understand. Instead of having a wide variety of stocks, focus on a handful of companies and know them well. Munger himself has most of his family's money invested in just 3 things: Berkshire Hathaway stock, Costco stock, and a fund managed by Li Lu. John Arrillaga, a billionaire investor, has a lesson to teach about focusing on what you know best. He made his fortune in real estate, which is like owning different kinds of buildings and land. There are so many types of real estate, like apartments, offices, or houses, and they can be in lots of places around the world. But Arrillaga did things differently. Instead of buying all sorts of properties in many places, he chose to focus on something specific: real estate close to Stanford University in California. Imagine, there are countless neighborhoods and places in the United States alone where you could invest in real estate. But Arrillaga zoomed in on just one small area. He didn't borrow a lot of money, and when the real estate market wasn't doing well, he bought more. When everyone else was excited about it, he sold some of his properties. That was his whole strategy. Even though he could have invested in different things far away from Stanford, he stuck to what he knew really well. By doing this, he had a big advantage over others, and it helped him become one of the richest people in the world. It's kind of like being really good at playing a certain game. Imagine you know all the rules, all the moves, and all the strategies to win that game really well. Instead of playing lots of different games where you might not know the rules or strategies as much, you just keep playing that one game you're really good at. That's what Arrillaga did with real estate near Stanford. He ignored other opportunities that came his way and focused on what he knew best. Even though it might have been tempting to try other things, he stuck to his plan. And because he knew that one area so well, he made really smart decisions that helped him become super successful. It's a bit like saying no to many options to say a big yes to one thing you know inside out. And for Arrillaga, that strategy paid off big time. Munger says, "I'd have a lot less money if I stuck to regular investing rules." That's it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.